My name is Wendell Child. I'm an assistant council commissioner, and we're going to talk about roundtables and commissioner tools today. As we go through this, if there are any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to ask them. Bill's watching the chat box and he can pass them on to me.
And Jennifer's paying attention to that.
Is Jennifer going to do it? Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you some questions. So if you fall asleep, you better disconnect, because otherwise you may be the one that gets the question. All right. Well, let's move on. Course objectives today. Understand how to load and view the information available within Commissioner tools. Okay, key issue for a roundtable commissioner. Understand the reports available from Commissioner tools, and understand how to use the data in Commissioner tools to help a scouting unit or scout leader. And of course, to learn how to identify information in improving that scout unit. So Commissioner tools is a toolbox of tools to help all commissioners, as you heard from Annalise this morning. It's available via the portal, my.scouting.org, or you can get it from My Scouting as in the App Store and download it and have it on your phone. So Commissioner Tools really is a tool to help commissioners. That's really why they call it what they did. It's to help them perform by providing access to information that's critical to support scouting units. So here are a few examples of Commissioner tools. One, you can assign commissioners to units. Most of this responsibility is with the district or assistant district commissioner. Two, you can record quality contacts. Three, you can document roundtable attendance. And that's primarily what we're going to focus on in this meeting. Four, you can show roundtable agendas and discussion topics. So that, let's say I'm a unit commissioner and I wasn't able to go to roundtable. I can sign into this and see what was discussed. Or let's say I'm a commissioner for a unit that couldn't attend. And now as the commissioner for that unit, I want to help the unit. And so what can I do? I can print out the information that was discussed at roundtable and show it to the unit leader so that they can participate even though they weren't able to attend roundtable meeting. I can conduct assessments to help a unit in Commissioner tools, and I can monitor a unit's progress. I can identify a unit's needs, and that becomes critical. That's very important as a commissioner, that we're helping the unit, and so we're identifying what the needs are for that unit and trying to help them. So how do I use Commissioner tools? Well, one is you've got to be registered. You can't just be a scout leader or a committee member and hope to get into Commissioner tools, because a scout leader can't and a committee member can't. Only a commissioner. It's your primary responsibility. To log into Commissioner tools, you need to access your my.scouting.org account on the web or the My Scouting app on your phone. There is a picture of the My Scouting app on your phone. And here's a picture of my.scouting.org on the web. So from the internet, you're going to click on the menu. Sorry that that's so small, but it's in the upper left-hand corner. It reads menu. Once you click on that, then you're going to come down and click on Commissioner Tools. and that will launch you into Commissioner Tools. Here is the page. Blow that up a little bit. Here's the landing page to get when you get into Commissioner Tools. Now, I signed in, so this is looking at the council. For you, you'll sign in at the district level. But notice on the left-hand side, you have a menu. It's a menu of options, and it's the same for all of us. And you'll notice there, the third one down on the left is Roundtable. Now, the other data on this page is a scorecard for the council or the district. But we primarily want to look at the menu and look at Roundtable. So I think I'm going to be challenged on the size through the whole presentation. This is the landing page that it takes me to after I've clicked on Roundtable. I'm going to select the Roundtable type. In this case, you can see there are 4 types: Cub Scouts, Venturing, Scouts, BSA, or Sea Scouts. So now I have to select which Roundtable type I'm going to record. And I can select more than one, so it's not just limited. Once I've done that, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to input the date. And then I'm going to click on Create Roundtable. And that now looks like this. So you can see the dates populated. I've selected the Scouts BSA, and I'm ready now to load in my data. Before I leave this, are there any questions associated with this portion of Commissioner Tools?
The one question I have is, does this also connect to everything on my scouting page? Or this is the only page that has this information? It won't share it.
Well, it loads it into a database, Vincent, but it will auto-populate your name if you're the person that's doing the input.
Oh, okay.
But that's the only thing it connects to is your name.
Very good.
Okay.
My question is, who's in charge of putting that in? Is it like the Cub Scout Roundtable Commission? Are they in charge of just the Cub Scouts, the BSA one's in charge? Or is it like our guy who's above all of us, is he in charge of doing all that?
That's a very good question, Melissa. Anyone can put it in who's a commissioner, Melissa. So you just need to decide with your district commissioner who's responsible for loading it in. In the district that I'm in, the Roundtable commissioner is the one that loads this in.
So like we have all of our roundtables are scheduled on here. Tom Bartlett's been really good about that. But I have like my attendance from since December and it shows like 0 attendance. So they're not getting recorded. So just Tom record it once he's scheduled it, or like how does that work?
Again, Tom doesn't need to record it. Really, it should be the Roundtable commissioner who takes responsibility, because the Roundtable commissioner is the one collecting the metrics for attendees, and they can go in and load it in there. So, but Tom could do it. There's no question about it. You'll see.
You could definitely, sorry, I was going to say, you could definitely, a Roundtable commissioner could assign an assistant Roundtable commissioner to do that. For example, they could have their new member coordinator do that for them. But it would have to be something that you as Roundtable commissioner assign them to do. Otherwise, it's your responsibility.
And they would have to be registered as a commissioner to be able to go in and load it in. Does that answer your question, Melissa?
I believe so. I just have to figure out. Yes, I think so.
I think the key thing for you, Melissa, is just talk to Tom and say, Tom, who do you want to load in this data? And then once you know who it is, then that's their responsibility. And every month they can go in and load it in there. In this case, the one we're looking at, Dave Hatch is the district commissioner. For this month, Dave went in and loaded it in. And you can see over on the right, Dave's loaded in several months. Another person loaded in another month. So it doesn't need to be the same person every month. You just need to decide with your commissioner, your district commissioner, who's going to take responsibility for loading the attendance data in Commissioner Tools. Okay, so now I'm going to create the roundtable. And now it takes me to this page, and I haven't shown you the first page. I wanted to show you the last because you can see Troop 1896 right at the top of the page. They had 2 people attend roundtable. And then the troop underneath that, 1897, they had 3. And then you can see here's another troop that didn't have any. So the person accountable for loading the data in puts in the troop from where they're from and loads in the number of people there. And then down on the bottom half, you can see they've loaded in how many unit leaders, how many commissioners are there, and how many other guests are there. And then notice for this roundtable, they put in a comment, addressed camping skills and proper use of axe and hatchet, had a guest speaker who specializes in summer camping. Now, can I go into more detail? Yes, but I just put this in there for you to see what can be loaded in under the meeting notes. You can also see that if I'm a commissioner that wasn't there, now I can go in and see that, okay, Jim Smith was the specialist that came in. I'll call Jim and see what he presented. The more detail you can put in there, the better off it is. And I'll show you some examples of that in just a minute. But it shows you the units and it shows you the type of leader who attended. And I think Rochelle in her previous presentation indicated you can't count one person for 2 units. They've got to be one or the other. Okay. I just talked about loading in the attendance numbers and the notes. So here's the summary page now that I can see. The combined attendance is 17.4%. Roundtable was July the 9th. I input the data. It was for the scouts. Now I can either save it in progress or I can finish it. Why would I save it in progress? Who can answer that question? Jennifer Harris? Why would I save an in progress report on Roundtable?
Possibly.
Better unmute yourself, Jennifer.
Yeah, I was working on it. The only thing I can think of is if you think that you need to later add more people.
Perfect. That's the right answer. If you didn't get this unit, you don't know whether they were a scoutmaster or committee member or what, you may want to just put it in temporarily, get the information and come back later on and do it. But if you don't finish it, then you can go back in and open it up and update it. So good answer. Thank you. So let's assume that we're going to save this and finish it. So I'm going to check save and finish. But concerning that, I want you to understand that you can go back 60 days to input a roundtable. So let's say you had a roundtable on August 23rd. You can still go back in and load that data in there, but you can only go 60 days historically to put that in. You can put in future dates and agendas for up to a year. Wow, how nice that would be to have roundtables planned for a year and be able to go in and say to all of your commissioners, here's what we're going to be talking about. So if I were a commissioner, I'd be looking at that thinking, oh, I need to talk to my unit. They got a special presentation on Scout Book at Roundtable. I want my scout leader to be there. So I'm going to make a special effort to see that he gets to the Roundtable for December when they're going to talk about Scout Book. Commissioners can see what's planned. Commissioners who missed Roundtable can also see what the discussion was. This information then can be given to a unit leader. So why load in the discussion and agenda? The more detail you can put in there, the better it is for those people who, one, weren't able to attend, or two, want a refresher. Oh, I didn't know about this. Wonder if they loaded that in the notes of the minute. Then they can go back in and they can look up that information. Any comments or questions about loading in the data?
Oh, I remember when we were practicing your lesson, somebody said that putting the details as to maybe a guest who came and did a presentation with their contact information in the notes would be helpful to unit commissioners. So if they're asked by their units, hey, so-and-so did a wonderful presentation on how to do this, how do we contact them? The unit commissioner can just pull up it in the commissioner tools.
Thank you, Rochelle, very much. You're exactly right. All right, so how to create a future roundtable agenda, just to give you some details. Again, you're going to click on the new roundtable. You're going to select the program you'll create as an in-progress roundtable. You're going to load the agenda in the details. And this allows commissioners the opportunity to see what the future has, and they can promote attendance with their unit leaders. So again, I stress the importance of putting in detailed information in the meeting notes. So here's an example of a commissioner who put in some very good detail. Let's look at it. In that top box, meeting notes. The opening, Sarah and Chris with PAC 783 were the honor guards. Prayer was Reverend Frank. Big Rock topic, Scout Book. And Julie did that. Interest topic, Den Chiefs and dinners. And Emily addressed that. So now you can go in and look at that. And if you'll notice, there's only so much I could copy, but there's more information in there that you can go look. And comments, well, there were 12 youth that participated in the roundtable. PAC 159 had the highest attendance this month, so their unit will provide the color guards for next month. PAC 35 is having a drop in attendance again this month. 2 months ago, there were 10 leaders. Now there's something less. That information is valuable. Let's say that you're the roundtable chairman and all of a sudden you move and you get a new roundtable chairman. Now roundtable chairman can go in historically and look at the details and understand exactly where things were at so that they can not miss a beat, so to speak. They can pick up and run with it. So as I've indicated down here, here's where you're going to put in the comments about your units, but especially anything that you want to relay to the district commissioner, the assistant district commissioner, or your unit commissioners. For just a minute, we're going to talk about reporting. I apologize that this is so light, but right here on the left, this is from the portal, my.scouting.org. This is the menu on the left again, and there is reports, the reports option. So any commissioner can click on reports and see all of the reports. The page I'm showing you here only has a few of the reports, but there's a large list that are available for all different types of commissioners. So here is a report on roundtable attendance. You're able to track roundtable attendance by the unit, and this can be exported to a spreadsheet. So if I was a unit commissioner, I could take that report to me to committee meeting when I'm going to visit the committee and say, I noticed that we've only had 10% attendance at roundtable. Maybe you need to have some additional scoutmasters who are assigned to attend roundtable so you don't miss anything. It gives you some valuable information that you as a commissioner can use. Once you click on roundtable attendance report, commissioners now have the option to take the data in Commissioner Tools and create a pivot table with that data. Pivot table, you can chart overall attendance. You can see which units are attending and which units are not attending. So National has generated a pivot table to create some pre-structured tables so that you don't even have to do the pivot table itself. So this is the link to download the report to do the pivot tables. So here's how you create the pivot tables. You log into my.scouting, you select Commissioner Tools, you go to your district or council dashboard, you select the reports button, and then you run roundtable attendance as needed. And I'll show you that in just 1 second. Once you've run the report, you download that report in and place it in a folder. Leave it in the CSV format. Place the report in your computer, of course. Now you're going to take the roundtable tool that I just showed you the link to, and you're going to put it in the same exact folder where you put your data. Now you're going to go in and open that pivot table tool. Once you open it, it takes about 20 seconds. Takes about 20 seconds for the table to run, and it'll put now the data into the following format for tables. So here is the unit attendance summary. I ran this for last month, and you can see the unit type. It's a crew, it's a boys pack, it's a girls pack, it's a ship, it's a boys troop, it's a girls troop, or there's a total. And it tells me from each district what I had in attendance at roundtable. So in an easy format, you can see what attendance is like in your district. Here's another one that shows unit attendance. Again, see the districts on the bottom. And now it's put in a bar chart to see whether it's a crew, a boys pack, a girls pack, a ship. There's no ships on this one. A boys troop or a girls troop. And so it gives you in a snapshot who's attending. Now it gives you details. Tells you how many people were attending by month. So you can see along the top, you've got months. Along the left, you've got the districts, and then you have the totals. Here's unit attendance by month. So you can look at the units that have been attending by month. Here's the volunteer attendance. Now you can see the number of scout leaders that were in attendance at Roundtable. And now you get a report that says who's not attending. So I'm not picking on any district here. I picked on my own district because they're doing very well with Roundtable. They only had 7 units that weren't in attendance at last month's Roundtable. And it identifies what unit that is. So if I was a commissioner and I'm looking at this report, and I see the numbers that are there. Bobby, what? I don't know where that's coming from. Bobby, where? How would I use this report? Bobby Huffman.
How would I use this report?
Yeah.
I would use it to identify what units that may be needed to be contacted and find out exactly why they haven't been attending Roundtable, if there's a problem maybe, or maybe they just didn't want to come, and maybe my unit commissioner needs to be out there and be a little more active out there.
Excellent comment. Thank you. You're exactly right. Any other comments on how you might use this report?
It shows if we're effectively promoting to the units, if they know or they don't know what's going on with the roundtable time and meeting place.
What kind of a meeting do all commissioners attend once a month? Bill, what kind of a meeting do all commissioners attend?
That would be your district commissioner meeting.
Exactly right. Could you take this report to district commissioner meeting and talk about this?
I did it all the time back when I was, but yes, we would take it in, and especially with the unit commissioners present to figure out what units are struggling and which ones are attending and try to get those leaders attending.
Thanks, Bill. I knew you did that. That's why I called on you, Bill. Yeah, you're right on. There's a way to use the data in Commissioner Tools to more effectively run the units in your district. So roundtable commissioners, district commissioners, unit commissioners, wow, this is valuable information if you just access and use it.
Wendell,
Yes.
just a quick side comment there with what Bill said. Okay, what I actually do also is when I have my district commissioner meetings, I task the individual unit commissioners to bring a copy of the report, and that shows that they know where those reports are, and they understand, and hopefully they understand what they're bringing forward too.
Great idea. Really good idea. Then they have to get into Commissioner Tools and look. And
Okay.
now they know what's there. I like that. I
Exactly.
think that's a great approach. Any other benefits you can see from using these reports in Commissioner Tools?
That would immediately tell you which units are struggling. Or maybe they're not units at all. They're just ghost units there.
So if I was a district commissioner and I pulled up that report and saw that these units haven't been attending, I would call my unit commissioner, Vincent, immediately and say, hey, can you go sit down and chat with these people and see if there's a problem or if somebody's ill or why they aren't able to attend Roundtable? sometimes they just want to be noticed. And if they don't think that anyone cares about whether they attend, it's very easy for us as people, because of our busy lives, to stop attending. And so, yes, there's a great way that we can help a scout leader in doing what they're doing. Maybe they need more assistant scoutmasters. And so you can make that recommendation to the COR to say, hey, we need more assistant scoutmasters to help with this. So the data is there, it's available. We just need to use it to our benefit, and lots of ways to use the data. So in summary, let me just check my time here. We need to understand the information available in commissioner tools for roundtable commissioners. And there is a lot of data. A lot of data that a roundtable commissioner could use in a simplified or detailed assessment. And we didn't talk about that, but a roundtable commissioner may go in and see the weaknesses that the district is having and decide that I need to address that as one of my topics in roundtable. You need to understand the reports available in commissioner tools, because you can gain a lot of valuable information on gleaming the data that's available in commissioner tools. And then understand how to use the data as we've talked. Each of you have mentioned some specific ways that you've used the data to help your units. And then how to glean from the data the themes that might be available for you as a district commissioner that you can address in district commissioner meeting, and as a roundtable commissioner to address in roundtable, or as a unit commissioner to talk with the unit about. So the data is very important and very valuable. And I hope that this gives you some perspective on what can be done with information in commissioner tools. So thank you very much. Any questions or comments?
There was one asked on the chat, do you need Excel to run Power Pivot?
You do need Excel to run Power Pivot. The format that it drops it into is in Excel. Good question. Any other questions or comments? I'd like to hear from some of you on how you've used data in commissioner tools.
I like it right now because I'm in the process of prepping for rechartering. So the commissioner tools is great in helping me find out who needs current youth protection. And so that's just a huge, right at your fingertips, quick resource to get back to the unit, saying these 4 people before you start rechartering needs to take youth protection.
Yeah, very true. That data is available in commissioner tools.
I also like the fact that I now know I need to assign someone to do recording for a roundtable. So we had 39 people at our last roundtable. And I'm pretty sure neither one of my commissioners have entered that in yet. So that's a good reminder. So thank you.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that. You bet.